You know what YouTube's copyright system reminds me of? It's like DSP is in charge of it. It's fucking backwards. Nothing ever gets done. It's basically the same shit over and over. Meanwhile, YouTube just sits there and pretends like everything's perfectly fine. Oh, you guys love this. You ask me for this all the time. No we don't. Fucking change it. So I always wanted to make a video about this, but the only time it ever seems to come up is when someone's channel is in danger of getting shut down, or people's videos are getting false flagged. But I figured I'd go ahead and take some time and make a video about it anyways. Now, the reason I started thinking about this again was because I was watching the Hbomberguy video recently, which, by the way, is probably my favorite video on YouTube. I don't know about all time, but it's probably my favorite one at the moment. I think it's just a masterpiece in how to present a topic, how to explain all the little details that go with it, and then how to expose the people that are misusing it or taking advantage of it. But he said something in the video that kind of made me laugh, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? He's actually right.
Lay limp on the cave floor. No progress had been made.
For the first time in YouTube history, a copyright claim is real. Internet historians stole Lucas Riley's article, used it as a script for a 70-minute video, gave him no credit, and uploaded it for money.
For the first time in YouTube history, a copyright claim is real. Now, he was partially joking when he said that, but still, there is some truth to it. If I had to guess on how many copyright strikes are actually legitimate, and again, this is just my own guess, I highly doubt YouTube would ever publicize these numbers. I would say maybe 20% of them are for legitimate, valid reasons. And even then, 20% might be way too high. But the reason I can say that is because I know there's dumb people out there, like DSP, who will copyright strike you and try to get your channel terminated, not for valid reasons, but just to teach you a lesson. And how do I know that? Because that's exactly what he tried to do to me.
Or maybe there was a third party doing false claims in my name, but that's what these are right here, okay? This video here was from another channel doing exactly the same thing back in January 2022. I remember this particular day, someone had reached out to me in a very similar manner and said, we found a channel that is doing this, okay? I did the same thing. I did claims on them. And actually, in this case, with this person, after about a month or two, I said, all right, you know what? I think they learned their lesson, and I retracted the takedown. But as you can see, this channel no longer exists either. So I don't even know what it was. It's gone from YouTube.
Now, that video is back up on my channel. You can go look at it for yourself and see if it has commentary, editing, basically trying to make it as transformative as I could. But the funny thing about that clip is when DSP put that out, my channel was terminated at the time. But not because of DSP's copyright strikes, because one of his dent-headed fans was going around striking detractor channels. And YouTube, of course, did no vetting whatsoever, didn't even bother to check if DSP was the person issuing these strikes. And so my channel, along with a bunch of others, got instantly shut down. Now, enough people complained, and eventually YouTube saw what was happening, and they reversed course. And after about a month, most of us were lucky enough to get our channels back. But it doesn't always work out that way. Take a look at my friend and another detractor that goes by Lee. He didn't get his channel back. He had to create another one and start all over. And when you're a small channel that gets to 8,000 subs in a niche community and you lose it overnight, especially because YouTube can't even be bothered to even check if the claims are from the right person, then yeah, your system's probably a piece of shit. And that's why people say things in their videos like, for the first time in YouTube history, a copyright claim is actually real. But these are just small examples from a small community. What happens when a bigger channel gets hit with stuff like this? Now, this guy goes by the name of Vintage, and he has 659,000 subscribers. And he started getting copyright strikes from some person that didn't like the videos he was making. Now, we're talking videos with millions of views, and YouTube just took them down. He tried to explain why they were false copyright strikes and that the person doing them just wanted to fuck with them, and also obtain his docs information, which is a whole nother problem, but we'll get into that in a minute. And so he had to sit there and just watch his videos get taken down one by one until he got his third strike, which means your channel gets terminated. Now, you'd think YouTube might want to help this guy since he's a creator and his videos seem pretty popular. Maybe they'd work with them to try and figure out what's going on, try and come up with some kind of resolution. But do you think that's what happened? No. He had to put out a video titled, "I'm being stalked and YouTube is ignoring it." Now, YouTube's not the police, I'll give them that, but we're not asking for FBI level investigations here. Just get off your fucking ass and make sure the person issuing the strikes is actually the copyright holder. Which brings us to the next problem. Anybody can fill these out and just put any information that they want. But if you want to counter these claims, even though most of the time they're not even valid, let's see what information you have to give to the person that's trying to strike you.
But when you send that counter notification, you have to put your legal name, your legal address, your phone number, all of that information. So when they file the lawsuit, if they do, they know where to send it to. Now,
think about that for a second. Your legal name, your legal address, your phone number, your email address. Do you want the fucking $5 in my pocket too? Because I'm not gonna give it to you. You can piss off with all that. But that's the information YouTube wanted from him, just to proceed. It doesn't even guarantee that the videos would come back up or that his channel wouldn't be terminated. That was just to start the process. And so YouTube sends that information to the random person issuing the copyright strikes. And this is where I'd like to see some numbers from Google/YouTube. How many lawsuits actually get filed? What do these people do with that information? That 20% number I said earlier, it's probably more like 5% in reality. But it doesn't even matter because the person issuing the strikes already got what they wanted. Now, Vince Vantage is very lucky that he has a large channel and he can broadcast a video like that. So people like Muda, Moist Critical, Asmongold, they made videos talking about it. YouTube took notice and it helped clear things up. But again, when you're a smaller channel, you don't have those kind of options. You either give up all your information or just watch your channel disappear. Now, I'm gonna show you what I did when this happened to me. And I only did this because I'm very petty. And at the time, it seemed like the only thing I could do. But looking back at it, it probably wasn't the right thing to do. So I got the same notification that everyone else gets. Due to multiple copyright strikes associated with the videos below, your YouTube account has now been disabled. And since I wasn't in the partner program at the time, my account was terminated on site.
On fucking site.
They didn't give me any kind of a warning, and my 17-year-old YouTube account was just gone. And I was pretty pissed off about that, but I wasn't about to submit a counter notification and give away all my current info. Fuck that noise. So I thought to myself, what would my good friend DarkSydePhil do? You know, the other person that copyright struck me? And so I decided to put in fake information. Now, the person that's infamous for doing this shit in our community is already known. So instead of putting my name in the claim, I put his name down. I created an email address and used his name for that as well. And I did it because I knew Google was going to send it to him. I also put in a fake address and a fake phone number. I sent the form on its way and I was very proud of myself. Within an hour, I got a response. Dear Super Crazy, the email address that you have provided does not match the email address of the account in question. Please resubmit the form from the correct email address. And I was like, fuck. But that's the whole point of this video. Because even if I did use the correct email address, they would have replied and said, the name on the account doesn't match up, then the physical address, and then the phone number. But the person submitting these claims can just put any information that they want. No proof needed. Because YouTube, the last time that I checked, DarkSydePhil didn't originate from India. And the last time I checked, DarkSydePhil's first name wasn't Ravneet. But your information better be accurate down to a T. Because if it's not, they'll reply back within an hour and let you know. Now, at the end of the day, I did get very lucky because, as I said earlier, enough people were replying to YouTube, complaining about the same problem, and I guess they saw what was going on. And almost overnight, a bunch of our channels came back. But not everybody gets lucky like that. Every person doesn't have a huge channel where they can get the message across. And you would think that YouTube would want to help the people that make this platform what it is. But no, they need to make sure Ravneet can get his copyright claims in. They need to make sure DarkSydePhil can teach people a lesson. And above all else, they want to make sure they don't have to get off their lazy fucking ass to do anything about it. Get fucked.
Get fucked.